YouTube! Yo, what's up guys? So we have already done an SR Dream Ticket video and a UR Dream Ticket video. If you haven't seen those already, go and check them out if you are looking to find out what the best cards to spend your Dream Tickets on are. But here we have the box chip video. Box chips are very different to Dream Tickets, but they're often used in similar ways. So how box chips work is that the really old cards in the game will be added to this list, and if you can get 100 box chips, then you can exchange those 100 for any card that happens to be on the list. And this doesn't just mean URs, it doesn't just mean SRs, it means R rarity cards and N rarity cards as well. The thing is though, about all of these cards is that they're really damn old cards. Like, the vast majority of them are basically not going to help you whatsoever. That being said, the way power creep works in this game, sometimes cards end up aging really damn well, because as good as they might be on release, they might even be really better in the future, or they might just be so good that they retain their value for like a long ass time. So here in this video, I'm going to tell you the 6 best cards you can spend your box chips on. But first, let me just say that you can help yourself to complete some decks with the box chip menu. For example, if you're going for Thunder Dragons, you could get Thunder Dragon Hawk and Thunder Dragon Duo from this menu. If you want to get the Invoked package, you can get almost the whole thing here. You're just going to be basically missing Raging, Mechaba, and the field spell. Blue Eyes still plays Spirit Dragon, so you'll be able to pick up a copy from box chips here as well. If you're interested in Adam Emancipator, you can get Block Dragon from here. People in the community have been cooking up Dragon Links, and Black Metal Dragon is a key part of what may be the best version of that deck. Despia plays a Dark Lord package using 3 Morningstar, as well as Banishment to be able to search for it. So there is legitimately some really good modern day uses for some of the cards in the box chips, but there's also some really good generically usable cards. Like, we actually have a decent amount of good synchros in here. Squire Saga is non-targeting destruction for back row monsters, sometimes even both. Vulcan is kind of a niche pick for decks that like to summon level 6 synchros. Sun Saga is still good in zombie decks. Dark End Dragon doesn't destroy, which can be useful sometimes. Onimaru can get to 6k attack, which is pretty good. Samurai Destroyer is kind of funny. It's a fully battle-based effect, but even to this day, it can sometimes come up if you want to stop the opponent from activating that flip effect or something. Quarion Gandrex is one of the better, like, quick synchro effects you can go into because it banishes 3 of the opponent's cards from field and grave. Dragon Mech is like removal of any card for a deck that can make level 9 synchros. Blue Eyes can make this, and I think some people do play Dragon Mech in their Blue Eyes deck. Black Rose is Black Rose. I mean, what can I say, man? It's always going to be good. Paladin Zektron is also a pretty damn good quick synchro to go into because it pretty much guarantees your survival for the turn. And of course, Stardust Dragon to summon using Ass Dragon. Like, you can get your Stardust Dragon for free here. But guys, you want to know what the top 6 best choices are for your box chips. So at number 6, I've got Treacherous Trap Hold. Now this card is so incredibly good. If you have no traps in your grave, then you target 2 monsters and destroy them. That's 1 card destroying 2 cards. The only thing is that you can't have any traps in grave, and this card is limited to 1. So you may need to play this in a deck that has no other traps and no other limited to 1 card. Now that is kind of a rare thing these days, but it's not impossible. If you have a deck like that, throwing this in there when you draw it is going to be such an amazing thing for you. But since it is kind of specific on what type of deck you want to be playing in order to even use this, that's why it's kind of low on the list, even if it might be the most powerful thing here. At number 5, we have Forbidden Chalice. Now, at a certain point in Duel Links history, having this any less than number 1 would have been a crime. That being said, we have Forbidden Droplet now, which for the most part is a better card. That doesn't make Chalice worse though. Chalice targets, but it doesn't require a discard. So that can give it some applications in decks that need the droplet effect, don't care about whether or not it targets, but really can't afford to be discarding cards. So that's where Chalice can come in. It's also helpful that Chalice can occasionally, every now and then in certain decks, be used as a battle trick. Number 4 is Necrovalley. Okay, this is one of the best floodgates in the game because every deck, almost every deck, really cares about moving cards out of their graveyard. So putting a Necrovalley on the field is going to cripple the vast majority of decks. That being said, not every deck can play this because obviously it's going to affect both players. You don't want to turn off your own grave, you just want to turn off the opponent. So you would play this in a deck that doesn't care too much about its own grave. Like for example, Hero. They can use their skill to get things out of the grave and that won't be prevented by Necrovalley. You can get Necrovalley for free by using box chips. And number 3 is Needle Sealing. This destroys all face-up monsters on the field if there are 4 or more monsters on the field. The fact that you can use this pretty much whenever you want, as long as there's 4 or more monsters on the field, obviously, means that you don't have to specifically chain to a summon like Torrential Tribute. This is a little bit more versatile than that, and it destroying everything whenever you want is a fantastic interruption. Of course, that being said, the opponent can play around this by making sure that they don't have enough monsters on the field for you to trigger this, but you could make it so much more difficult for them by putting 2 or 3 of your own monsters on the field. And it's especially good if you have face down monsters on the field. So if you are playing a deck like Subterror, you could play this in Subterrors. Since your monsters are all going to be face down anyway, your monsters won't be destroyed. It'll just be your opponent's. But this card is limited to 3. That is a downside. It means that you can't play it at the same time as Book of Eclipse, which is one of the best cards in the game. So that's why we have it a little bit lower on the list. At number 2 is Artifact Lancea. Now this card can be played in pretty much every deck. It's very easy to play. You just discard it from your hand. Neither player can banish it. You can only use it on your opponent's turn, but it's a hand trap. It prevents banishing for the turn. That being said, there are certain metas where not every deck really gives a damn about you dropping a Lancea on them. They might not even really banish that much, and if they do, maybe it doesn't impact them that deeply. But owning this is incredibly important, because when it's good, it is the best card in the game. Because there's often formats where like 3, 4, or 5 decks in the meta really rely on banishing their own stuff, and dropping an Artifact Lancea on them can completely cripple them and basically be a turn skip. Now, number 1, you might have seen this coming, it's Cosmic Cyclone. I definitely think this is the best card you can pick up from the box chip menu, because first of all, it's really good value, okay? If you get this, it means you're not so worried about getting MST. You can spend your dream ticket a little bit more liberally because you're using your box chips to get Cosmic, which is the free-to-play version of MST. But calling it a free-to-play version implies that it's not as good of a card. I think Cosmic Cyclone is a more powerful card than Mystical Space Typhoon. The only thing is that MST does have the benefit of not costing any life point, and there's only very certain situations where you even care about paying your life point. Generally, Cosmic is the better card. If their back row is something they can add back to hand or that has a grave effect, then banishing it is going to be beneficial to you. So not only is this a card that you'll want to have anyway, it's also easier to obtain than MST. So it's better than MST, easier to get than MST, and it also looks cooler. I mean, look at that artwork, bro. That purple is so fucking cool. Can you guys tell that I like purple? So yeah, guys, it's a very simple top 6 in my opinion. It was honestly not that difficult for me to decide which 6, but I will give you a few other cards that are pretty good if you have bonus box chips lying around. Lance is pretty good sometimes in some decks. Of course, it's not back row removal, it's back row protection, which generally speaking isn't needed because most decks these days can play through back row, and if they have back row removal, it's usually to get rid of something like a Necrovalley or something like that. But in some decks, back row protection is more important than back row removal, and in those cases, Lance is going to be pretty helpful. Necrofusion is a pretty damn good card. Of course, not every deck can play it. I think one of the best cards you can summon off of this is Starving Venom. It just requires 2 dark monsters. So if you're playing a dark deck, you just put this in your deck, summon Starving Venom on the opponent's turn. If they destroy your Starving Venom's going to Raigeki their board. Of course, this is not something that you should be going out of your way to get. Most decks aren't playing this. Most decks shouldn't play this, but it is a pretty good card. Yeah, guys, that is my top 6 for the box chip menu. I hope it helped you out. I hope you liked the video. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. But apart from that, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Have yourselves a good one, guys. And I've been Undead from Team 6K, signing out.
Hey, why they gotta hate on me? I done got me 250,000 views and they still saying they low-key. They ain't wanna come work with the kid, but I'm flexing with Zay on beats. How they ask for a spot at the gym, but they leave all the weight on me. I don't ask them to wait on me. They would ask where they gon' be with a song if they wanted the Weatherman. I ain't asking to pay no fees. She was homeless and needed a spot. I ain't ask her to pay no lease. I ain't ask her to say no please. I ain't ask her to make no cheese. Scream fake, but it ain't on me. Got clean, so it ain't no streets. Why green if it ain't no keeps? Brought cream, so it ain't no beef. My team say it ain't no chief. My demon, they hang on me. They seemingly ain't no peace. I seen him, he ain't no beast. For real, I ask them, why they gotta hate on me? I done got me 250,000 views and they still saying they low key. They ain't wanna come work with the kid, but I'm flexing with Zay on beats. How they ask for a spot at the gym, but they leave all the weight on me. Ain't nobody harder in the country. If they claim they in front, then they frontin'. Think about it, they always talking about they bag and they stick, bro, that's literally bumming. Niggas can't even rap on the beat, gotta do hella cussings to know where to come in. Then these niggas go do R&B, but they not even singing, these niggas be humming. Niggas stop with the cap or it's 76ers, cause I'ma have to bring the drum in. When I'm fucking my girl, it's like doing the rain dance. Whether can you come in? You ain't get what I said, or see what I'm doing like Helen Keller when I'm bumping. Should I try to tell you I'm the one and ain't nobody better or youngin'? I ask them, hey, why they gotta hate on me? I done got me 250,000 views and they still saying they low key. They ain't wanna come work with the kid, but I'm flexing with Zay on beats. How they ask for a spot at the gym, but they leave all the weight on me. Damn, I ask them, why they gotta hate on me? I done got me 250,000 views and they still saying they low key. They ain't wanna come work with the kid, but I'm flexing with Zay on beats. How they ask for a spot at the gym, then they leave all the weight on me. Hey.